amazing job on this film. I loved it so much. Tessa, we'll start with you. Sylvie's love can be seen as a reference to her romance. However, it can also be seen as her love of television and film production. The film really plays with that duality. What attracted you to the film and the project?
So many things. I wanted to make a classic love story. We don't get to do that very often in general because we don't make as many love stories anymore in Hollywood, and certainly ones that center two Black people is few and far in between. So, and I'm like Sylvie, I'm a geek in terms of, like television and media. I think that the stories that we tell have the ability not to just reflect culture, but create it. I'm like newly becoming really a television producer myself. So it's exciting. It feels like life imitating art. And I really wanted to work with Nnamdi so much because he's super, super talented. And I knew that when he approached me with this. And so, yeah, it was kind of a no-brainer for me. I love making independent film too. It's like a, thing that really matters to me.
It's amazing. Now, Nnamdi, I've been a huge fan of yours ever since your Cal days, even though I'm a Pac-12 guy, went to USC, but I'm a big fan of yours. And I know you play Robert Holloway in this. You actually learned how to play the saxophone. Is that correct?
I did learn. I want to start first by saying I love the energy in your voice.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know where that comes from, if it's radio but it's great. I did. I learned to play the saxophone, which was, very difficult, but I did it. I played for about a year just because I wanted the character I wanted to really be the character. I wanted to feel what that was like for music to just take over your life and be the number one thing for you. So like back to the football days, I understood that you have to prepare in a certain way before you get out there and actually do the thing. So that was what I was doing.
It's amazing. Now, Tessa, the era of this film almost seems like a character itself. Can you talk to me about the challenges of playing characters from that era without making them caricatures?
Yeah, I mean, I hope I can. I hope I did all right at it. I watched a lot of movies from the time, television from the time. I sort of grew up watching a lot of those television shows anyways with my grandparents. I looked at old photographs of my grandparents, and then also I like to read the literature of the time, particularly like women's magazines. I like this idea of understanding because I feel like in any era, we're responding to the collective, right? And so it was important for me to understand, like when people picked up their magazine or a newspaper, what they were being told about themselves. So then I had tons of references. I watched so much Diane Carroll. I really loved just her sort of grace and how smart she was. And I think the biggest thing for playing characters in that period has a lot to do with poise, that and obviously Sylvie, because she also is, her mom, she is sort of into refinement. So I just have to remind myself to, sit up, which I think with the modern, especially now we're always on our phones, like this. But I really enjoyed that. But more than any of that, I really enjoyed watching Nnamdi in his high-waisted pants. He did very well. Nnamdi, how did you practice for that? How did you learn how to walk in them so well?
Yeah, the high-waisted pants were a thing. I mean, listen, if a guy was going to the grocery store back then, they were in high-waisted pants, a suit jacket, and a tie. It didn't matter. And hopefully we can bring that back in some sort of way. But I loved it. So
I said exactly what you said as I was watching this movie with my girlfriend. I was like, man, I want to bring back those days of going to McDonald's in a suit or something.
Remember?
That's exactly what I said. It's totally true. But this film is phenomenal, guys. I appreciate your time. I hope everybody goes to see it because, oh man, there's so much that happened with these characters and their relationships and pulling apart. I just love the film. Thanks, guys, for your time.
Thank you.